In C#, we have another way to pass arguments by reference called the out modifier. It's similar to the ref and in modifiers, but it has some differences. In this lecture, we'll be covering the out modifier. Hello guys, welcome again. Alright, as mentioned, the out parameter modifier allows us to pass an argument to a method by reference instead of by value. The key difference between ref and in compared to out is that ref and in require the variable to be initialized before passing it to the method. On the other hand, the out parameter does not have this requirement. Based on this, we can simply declare a variable without setting its value and pass it as an out argument to a method. The reason is that, unlike ref and in modifiers, within the method, we must assign a value to the out parameter. So, there is no need to assign a value to the z variable before passing it to the method. In fact, the out modifier is commonly used when a method needs to return multiple values. Alright, let's consider the try_parse method as an example. This method takes a string value that we want to convert to an int. It returns two values. First, a boolean value that tells us whether the string was successfully converted to an int or not. Second, the actual int value if the conversion was successful. Okay, let's dive into VS Code and see the out modifier in action. Let's begin by creating a method for dividing two numbers. We name this method try_divide and it returns a boolean value. Try_divide method will take three int parameters. Let's make the result parameter an out parameter. Inside the method, the first step is to check if number 2 is not equal to 0. If it's not 0, we'll assign the division of number 1 by number 2 to the result parameter and return true. However, if the division operation would fail due to a 0 value in number 2, we return false. Alright, let's take a look at the error we have here. The error occurs because the result parameter, which is an out parameter, needs to have a value assigned to it before the method finishes executing. You might wonder why we need to assign a value if we already assign it within the if block. The reason is that all possible paths in our code must provide a value to the out parameter. In our case, if the condition in the if statement is false, the code will skip the assignment, leaving the out parameter result without a value. This goes against the requirement that all paths in the code must assign a value to the out parameter. To fix this, we can set the value of result to 0. Which will ensure the out parameter is always assigned a value regardless of the condition. Now, inside the main method, let's declare a variable called result. Next, call the try_divide method and assign its boolean result to a variable. Then we pass 10, 2, and result as arguments. Okay, remember, both the method signature and the method call need to use the out keyword to use an out parameter. So, we need to make the result argument an out argument. Now, let's check if the division was successful. If it was, we print the result. Otherwise, we print division failed. Okay, let's run the application and see the result. As you can see, since the division was successful, the method returns true and puts the division's value into the result variable. That's why we say the out modifier is used when we want a method to return multiple values. Alright, as you can see, with the out argument, there is no need to set a value like we do with ref and in arguments. However, we can assign a value to it. But as you can see, this is unnecessary. Another thing to note is that we can declare a variable separately before passing it as an out argument, just like we did here. However, when calling the method, we can declare the out parameter inline as well. Okay, let's remove the separate declaration and put the parameter type next to the out argument. The inline out arguments can be accessed within the same block of code where the method is called. For example, we can access the result inline argument anywhere inside the main method after it's declared. As you can see here, we print its value. Alright, in the recent lectures we covered 3 parameter modifiers, ref, in, and out. In summary, we use these modifiers when we want to pass a parameter by reference. We use the ref parameter when we want to allow the parameter to be modified within the method. However, modifying the parameter is optional. Next, we have the in parameter, which ensures that the parameter cannot be modified within the method. It's useful when we want to provide read-only access to the parameter's value. We can make the ref modifier read-only to achieve the same result. These 2 modifiers are very useful when working with large value type data to avoid unnecessary copying of the parameter's value. Lastly, we use the out parameter when we need to assign a value to the parameter inside the method. It's very useful when we want a method to return multiple values. Okay, done. See you soon.